Hi, got a little video for you here today. I've been having to do a bit of work in Avenue, and to control it over MIDI I've been using this Stuttery pocket control, which is really good, except it's not bi-directional, and obviously if the pot's there and on the software it's here, there'll be a jump and stuff. So I dug this old Nocturn I had, must have been about 12 years ago, something like that. So somewhere along the line, probably still a good 8 years ago, I broke this knob off and kind of packed it away somewhere, and thought, well, this would actually be a perfect controller for Avenue. So not only does it work fine as a MIDI controller, you also have some switches so you can turn things on and off, and because it's bi-directional, it follows whatever you do on the screen as well, so it's completely updated. If I take this one here, I don't know if you can see that. So I reached out to Novation to try and find out what type of encoder this is, and those amazing guys sent me a couple of replacements for free. So I'm really looking forward to resurrecting this. I was hoping to use it in Pro Tools. Fortunately, it doesn't work with the AEX plugins, but I'll show you that after we fix it. So this is the shaft that I broke off, and this pot is really stuttery. Now, because it had been in storage for such a long time, you do find these encoders do get quite stuttery, and normally you can spin them around really fast and you can like clear out any of the stutteriness. This one, however, I couldn't manage to clean it, so I am super impressed. I can actually replace these now. So here we have the Nocturn. There's a little microprocessor here. It's an ST72F638K2M1. I don't recognise that microprocessor, but then this was built around 2008, I believe. Okay, there's two board design here, some little spacers. So these are the encoders. There's my broken one. We have LEDs set in the ring style with some AC164M, which I think are some shift registers. So using shift registers to control the LEDs. And we have a connector here which joins the two boards together. So I think I'll just desolder those. That's quite easy. That came off nicely. Oh, we'll just remove these spacers, we don't lose them. Okay, so that's the main board. And this is the board we have to repair. I'll just clean off this flux. Okay, things are going to get a little bit more tricky. I don't know if you can see there, but we have capacitors between each of the pins of the encoder. Did they forget to put the debounce caps on? I don't see any places where you would put them, so I'm sure that would have increased the price it was to make these things. They would have had to be put in by hand. Okay, so I'll have to take the capacitors off before we can remove the encoder. Okay, well, we got them out, but very tricky, not for the faint-hearted. I don't know if you can see the two clips here which clip into the board. They're quite difficult to solder out. I had to use the wick as well. And you, unlike other designs, it's probably not that important. They're holding the pot in. However, on this design, because it has the touch update, they're touch sensitive. I don't know if you can see inside here. There's metal contacts which make contact to the shaft and the housing. And you can see on the contact pin there, we have a trace coming from there. And that goes into this little tiny IC here, which is like a capacitive touch reader. So it knows which encoder you're touching. Obviously you need that for touch update on your door. So I lost one of the capacitors, so what I've done is I've soldered two resistor legs onto the end of them so I can measure. That's 150 nanofarad. So I've got some of those. I think I'm just going to replace all four of them with the new ones. She's all back together now, and we're connected to Pro Tools, and it all works fantastic. No stuttery pots. It's quite amazing considering how long this has been in storage and broken, but I knew it was worth keeping, so I never threw it away. So I have to say a massive thank you to Focusrite for helping me get this back together. So we're in touch update. Here we can see where the volumes currently are, and if I hit play, we can see I can bring that volume down, let go, and it jumps back up. That's on the second pot. So the touch update's working. We didn't damage those traces that were coming from the encoders there. I don't know if you can see these blue boxes around these tracks here. That indicates the 8 channels that we're controlling. We can use the crossfader to bank to the next 8. And we can bank again. So we can get around the mixer. Another couple of things you can do at the moment in this page. These are the mutes, and obviously they work the other way. And if we page along, these now become solos. And I think there's another page for record arm. One thing that doesn't really work too well is the pans. Because this one knob is on this stereo track. I don't know if there's a way that we can link the two. I'll have to look into that. The mono one obviously works fine. So yeah, great to have it back in service. And thanks again, Novation. Catch you next time.